Welcome to Masters of Self University podcast, your highest source of sacred truths and universal wisdom. Hello, beautiful souls. I'm Rachel Fiori, mystic, spiritual teacher, psychic healer, and founder of Masters of Self University. Join our journey of soul transformation as we deep dive into this latest episode. Hello, beautiful souls. Rachel Fiori here, founder and CEO of Masters of Self University. Welcome to this episode. Energy healing is temporary. Energetics is permanent. I want you to really understand why so many of you out there have tried what seems like everything. You've tried everything to heal yourself, or you've tried so many different things to move through healing of all of your programs, all of your old wounds, the struggles that you have with scarcity, the struggles that you have with maybe your relationships end up being really crappy. You're attracting like the wrong person, or you're having so many problems in your relationships, or whatever. You can't find your purpose. It doesn't matter what we're talking about. But for those of you who have tried, all the things, you've tried all the things, and you're still stuck, you're still suffering, you're still struggling. I'm really going to break this down for you. Education is so critical. It is critical. So we need to start to allow ourselves to be truly, deeply educated when it comes to this stuff. Modern metaphysics truly lacks a deep level of education, and that's part of the problem that we have. There are a billion options out there, and this will heal you, and that will heal you, and oh, I want to do that. Here's your first mistake you're making, why permanent healing isn't something that maybe you have yet experienced. If it isn't permanent, it isn't really healing. Let me make that clear. If it isn't permanent, guess what? You didn't really get healed. But you have to understand what, quote unquote, what I refer to as temporary healing is. Things seem to be healed and they seem to be better for a while, maybe in your relationship, maybe in your life. Oh, you feel better. You're not so depressed. Things have shifted, changed. Oh, okay, you've had some of these experiences. I cannot tell you how many people have come to me as clients over the years and say, oh, I've worked on that, but I've healed that. Oh, I spent so many years. I've been to so many coaches, healers, therapists. I've done it all. What do you mean that's in my energy? What do you mean this is what the root cause of my suffering and my problems are? And people will get very resistant to see what's inside, what's really in there. So here's number one. The number one thing before I dive in and teach you about the energetics and why things don't actually heal, even when you think they healed, is because we have to stop looking for the quick fix. This is the biggest goddamn mistake that I see in the entire fucking world right now. Guys, grow up. We have to grow up and be more mature than this. The 5 best hacks, the 3 best hacks, the 10 best hacks. What can you do now? Right now? What can the listeners walk away from right now in this second that will magically heal them? I am so sick of this fucking bullshit. It reflects such a severe level of spiritual and emotional immaturity, and we need to grow the fuck up. All right? Grow up. And I don't say that with judgment. I say that in such a hardcore way because I want you to wake up to how you are sabotaging yourself from real, authentic, permanent healing. And that is the number one way how you do it. You're looking for the goddamn quick fix. You've done the goddamn ayahuascas and the plant medicines way too many times. Way too many times. So you're not actually in honoring of what plant medicine can offer you. You're trying to take the quick fix and have it do it for you. Okay. And I am never against plant medicine. Let me be clear. Ever. I think it is absolutely beautiful to be used in an honoring, responsible way, the way in which the plant itself has been incarnated onto this planet to help you and assist you through your healing and your awakening. Okay. And I'm not going to talk about plant medicine for this episode. I'm just mentioning it because it is one of the haphazard, irresponsible ways that people try to heal with a quick fix. It'll do it for me. Guess what? No, it won't. I don't care what your beautiful, quote unquote, miraculous results, but I know I've done it and I've had incredible results. I'm not saying you won't have incredible results. Plant medicine is real. I honor it. I love it. I appreciate plant medicine. I'm so glad it is here for the people who want to use that as one of their tools while they are healing and awakening. It is meant to be used as a tool while you do the real work on yourself, though. It isn't a quick fix. It's not going to fix everything in your life for you. Healing isn't passive. It is an active form of self-efficiency, self-work, self-healing. Healing is active, okay? Healing is an active form. It is an active energy. You have to actively participate in your own healing when it comes to your core wounds. So everybody out there looking for a quick fix. Oh, I just get Reiki. I'll just do the energy healer. I'll just. So here's the deal. I'm going to dive into the meat of this now. So let's say you right here, right now, not 90%, not 99%, 100% choose yourself. You 100% choose yourself. Your healing is a number one top priority from here forward. No matter what it takes, you're going to heal yourself, period, end. You are willing to do what it takes. If you make that commitment, that willingness and devotion that is required to heal, you can authentically, at the deepest level, in a permanent way, permanent results, you absolutely can heal absolutely everything that needs to be healed. You can. So that means if you make that commitment right here, right now, in this moment, 100%, that means you stop looking for the motherfucking hacks and the quick fixes. Quit it. When you do that, that means you're willing to go in to the deep core wounds and you're starting to learn to work with a deep level of what energetics truly is. So let's understand why energy healing in general, a lot of healing methods that are out there are just temporary. They're temporary tools. That's it. That's all they are. It doesn't mean they are not magnificent. It doesn't mean they're not wonderful. Any kind of energy healing, I don't care what it is. Sound healing happens to be one of my favorite modalities. It is just, it's one of my personal favorites. Oh my goodness. If I get a sound healing session from somebody who's really trained, really knows what they're doing, they practice like ancient art of sound healing. Oh my God. I've walked out of sound healing sessions with people where I had to keep looking down at the ground to see if my feet were actually touching the pavement of walking on the ground. I felt like I was walking and floating through the air. Like I had to keep looking down to check what my body was doing because I couldn't even feel my body was touching the earth. I mean, and it was amazing. I loved it. It was absolutely fantastic. So don't misunderstand. I am 100% in favor of all the things if used properly, if used with integrity and responsibility, and if used with a level of understanding and education. Because when you come from a level of being educated about all these modalities, you actually will use them in the proper ways. What's proper mean? There's no right or wrong way to use anything. That's not really true, because it's not about it being right or wrong. It's about how can these tools be used in the divine way they were meant to be used to elevate you along your path and support you along the way. That's why they're here. That's why they're here for us to utilize them. So they're all magnificent. So many different modalities I love. All right. But if you're not doing the deep, dark, hard work, the shadow work first, you're only doing temporary shit. You're temporarily healing. So let me explain this. You can go to the best healer in the world. And when I was much, much younger, in my earlier days, I would see these absolutely profound results in energy healing, the healing that I would do for people. And some of them, 100%, I can tell you, I witness miracles in people. Just blows me away every time I witness it. And in a lot of people that I would do these, profound levels of healing on them, I would then see days, weeks, months, sometimes a couple years later, those same fucking problems are right back. Same problems are right back. That was my learning process. I had to learn and understand the difference between temporary energy healing and the true divine definition of energetics. I had to learn that. So temporary healing, you need to understand something. You can have the best healer in the whole world, and they can perform, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. I feel this is lifted. I feel a change. I feel a shift. I feel this is amazing. Oh my gosh, this person's wonderful. And you walk out of there and you feel like lighter and healed, or you feel like $1 million and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't think this is an issue anymore. Here's the thing. Sometimes in whatever form, and I don't care what the energy healing, I don't care if it's Reiki, I don't care if it's quantum touch, I don't care what you're doing. I'm just going to keep it all in one general category right now. Whatever type of healing you got, sometimes what happens is you healed a lot of layers. And you healed a lot of layers, but you didn't get to the core. You didn't get to the core wound that is actually creating all of these programs in your life. Okay. You didn't get to the core wound. The core wound is still there. And if the core wound is still there, guess what's going to happen? The best healers in the world are going to heal so much. And then you're going to experience the freedom. It's going to be lighter. You're going to feel amazing. You're going to feel more fluid. Things are going to go your way, except that the core wound wasn't healed, which means what? The core wound is what's creating all the shit in your life or your relationships or whatever you're experiencing, the suffering. That's what creates it to begin with. And all that energy does is start immediately recreating it all over again. And it's instant because it never left. It's still in there. Now, the results of that being recreated, you may not experience for days, weeks, months, and in some cases, even a couple years. It could be years later that you realize, oh my God, the same shit is happening over and over again. Hint, hint, a lot of cancer patients. Oh, it was healed. And then it comes back. And it might take a couple years or a few years. It could take months. It could take whatever. But it comes back because you didn't heal what created it to begin with. So of course it's going to come back. It's just starting to recreate again. And it's just however long is that going to take for you to start experiencing those same things again. Okay. So in your energy fields around your body, everybody has them. Everyone in existence, every being in existence has energy fields, subtle energy bodies around their physical body. And in those subtle energy fields, you have the energies of, say, scarcity, victim consciousness, sabotage, whatever programs you're running, they are in your energy fields first. They slowly seep in to your physical body. So if you are experiencing, let's just put it under a simple category. If you're experiencing some form of suffering, depression, anxiety, something, you're experiencing suffering, it is in your energy fields, in your mental body, in your emotional body, that goes down the chain of subtle energy bodies, and it gets into your physical body, but it also gets into your energy body inside of your physical body. You still have energy bodies, energy centers inside of your physical body. Okay, those are your chakras. So your entire chakra system, those are those energy centers where if you're in suffering, those suffering programs are outside mental body, emotional body, etheric body, physical body, but also in one or more of your energy centers inside of the physical body. So for those of you who don't know too much about this stuff, they go into your energy centers first, your chakras first. And then it starts to wreak havoc and leak out into your cells, into your organs, into your physical body. There are so many people who go to their physicians, they go to their doctors, something's wrong, I have all these symptoms, I don't know what's wrong. And you get all these tests and all these tests and all these tests, and you're like, we don't know the source of this, we don't understand what's wrong with you. And in some cases, they end up over months or even a couple years, because I've seen this happen with people. These are all real examples, by the way. Over months or years of trying to figure out what the hell's wrong, because our Western medicine here in the United States, they don't have a holistic approach. They have a completely archaic, outdated approach to medicine. So they only look at the physical body, which means they can't understand what is really happening and what's causing the physical symptoms, right? So because of that, all these symptoms are happening. I've seen people diagnosed with things like autoimmune disorder, MS, and somebody gets diagnosed because they don't know what the hell's wrong. They're like, well, it looks like all these symptoms kind of eventually at some point diagnose you with MS. That's what we kind of think this is. And this is one person that I'm thinking of years ago that this happened to. And they literally said, yeah, we're just going to give it a diagnosis of MS. We think it's MS. And that's what we're going with. And that created such a tremendous amount of fear. I can't even imagine the fear that would create in a person when you understand what MS is and how you're going to basically then die a very slow, agonizing death. That's what you're looking forward to. And it created such a tremendous amount of fear. And I remember at the time when my friend was sharing this with me, I cried that whole night. Because I was so frustrated with Western medicine. I'm like, she doesn't have MS. I can see everything of why all of these things are creating all of these symptoms for her energetically. She needs a tremendous amount of healing, but she doesn't fucking have MS. Her fear, the tremendous, profound fear that she went into that she couldn't shift out of, actually created a really fast demise. And she only lived like a couple of years after that. It was way faster than ever predicted by even the physicians that diagnosed her. And when we are in that level of fear and we then believe we have this thing, we very powerfully, because fear, that much fear is a powerful, fast acting creator energy. And she was so afraid of dying like that she then really sped up that process. And that's not pointing the finger and blaming. It's not about blame. This is just how energetics works. When you understand energies, you understand this stuff. This dear woman was one of the most selfless, incredible people I've ever met in my entire life. I had so much love for her still, of course. Love is infinite. So of course I'm not giving you this example like, oh, she created her own reality. That she did it. Like, this has nothing to do with those misunderstood and mistaught teachings. Okay. It is about giving you an example of when we truly understand energetics, we learn how to go into energetics and heal at the deepest levels. That is what we do and offer in our coaching programs at Masters of Self University. Go sign up and get a free consultation now. I'm serious. Go to our website and get a consultation if you really want to end suffering. Okay. So, because we'll teach you how to do it. So here's the deal. Because energy never dies. I cannot say that enough. And no matter how many times I say it, it doesn't sink in for a lot of people to understand the deep meaning of that. So I'm going to keep saying it until it does. Energy never dies. There are people who can do these really simple, wonderful, fast energy healing techniques. They can find things in your energy fields and it's like, okay, poof, it's gone. This is how simple this is. Except I do things the opposite way. I teach things the exact opposite way. I'm so sick of the fucking, oh, you can heal in 2 seconds and because it fucking comes back. Hear me when I say to you, you can heal things temporarily. And it'll be like, oh my God, it's gone. I feel lighter. Yes, there's my result. And it doesn't mean it didn't happen, but it didn't necessarily heal any core wound that's creating that energy being there to begin with. That's the part you have to understand. All right. So if it temporarily heals, and then things can even shift and change in your relationship or your life. Oh my gosh, this came in. This is what happened. Oh my gosh, look at this. And then weeks, months, or a couple years later, the same old shit is happening all over again. Like, where does this come from? And I cannot tell you how many times people have said to me, I thought I healed all of this, but I thought I healed all of this. I'm like, yep. But we also have been brainwashed to be really impatient and entitled in this world today at thinking everything is a quick motherfucking fix and everything should be instantaneous healing and everything should happen in 2 fucking minutes. We need to grow up. That's why I'm so hard. And I'm going to fucking pound this punch in the face. Everyone listen, I'm going to knock this home. Okay. You have to stop with the quick fucking fixes. If you actually want to end your suffering permanently, you have to stop with the quick fixes. I feel like everything out there from my observation is ass fucking backwards. and how we should be taught this stuff. Everybody wants a quick fix. Stop it. Go into the deep, dark depths of your wounds, your unhealed traumas, your pain, because you become powerful enough to then, when you do that deep, dark work over time, what happens over time, you become so goddamn powerful in your divinity and your ability to heal yourself that what happens is you can then say, oh my goodness, something popped into my energy fields. I now know how to do that. I can go connect to what's out here, this sticky, icky thing in my energy field. And I can also connect where that is showing up in my chakra system, my energy fields inside of my physical body that either are causing me physical symptoms, physical pain, disease, conditions, or creating these sabotaging, horrible challenges in my life that I don't need to be experiencing because there's something unhealed in my energy field. Some program is running. If you go for the quick fix, 9 times out of 10, you're not healing the core of what's creating that energy to be there, which means most energy healing modalities either move away, dissipate the energy, they quote unquote clear out your energy fields temporarily. Energy never dies. Where do you think that energy goes? You're literally pushing it out somewhere. Energy doesn't die. And again, if the core trauma or the core wound creating this reality for you, your life experience is the suffering in your life. If the core traumas, the core wounds have not been alchemized energetically, then that shit is going to be recreated over and over. It is never going anywhere. Energy never dies. Energy never goes anywhere. When you dissipate it or clear it out or send it away, you're sending that into the world and creating all that shit out in the world for everybody. But you also realize you're not healing what was creating that energy for you to begin with. You have to do deeper work than that and stop looking for the quick energy healing shit, the quick fixes, the quick modalities that you think, oh, look, I did this though. You have to be willing to do the shadow work. If you do the shadow work first, you learn what it means to grow your power, to work in energetics, so that when things pop up in your life experiences, how do you know energetically something is being created that is very painful, very unloving, very harmful, creating suffering for you, creating things that you don't want to experience anymore? That's why we teach what we teach at Masters of Self University. We teach you how to follow your triggers, your programs down to the core root causes of all of your suffering. You simultaneously grow your energetic power to handle and alchemize all of it along the way, from the simple surface level programs that are not that big of a deal and super easy to heal, all the way down to the core roots of things that for a lot of people are in their blind spots. So if this sounds familiar to you, but I've healed that already. I thought I healed that already. Oh, do you know the how many therapists I've been to, or how many coaches, or how many coaching programs, or how many weekend retreats? Do you know how much money I spent on this? Have you been taken to the depths and the darkest parts of you? Have you grown your power simultaneously on an energetic level and learn what that means in order for you to say, oh my God, this is how I learned to identify what is actually in my energy fields, creating the things in my reality that I don't want to be there. And let me give you a little tip. Some of you might not know this. A lot of the things floating around in your energy fields that are contributing to the suffering in your life, to the shit storms in your life, all the things that go wrong in your life, a lot of the things floating around in your energy fields have nothing to do with you. They didn't come from you. You didn't create them at all. They came from your mom. They come from your dad. They come from family members. They've come from, your partner, your husband, your wife, your intimate relationships from the past. We are one. When you spend time with somebody, when you're living with somebody, they've come from roommates, for Christ's sake. When you're living with people in a roommate situation, your energies are intimately connected. I don't care if you're hiding in your room and never even interact with your roommates. They're not really your friends, they're just roommates. Even if that's the scenario, guess what? You are energetically intimately connected to those people you're living with. So guess what? Over time, depending on how long you've lived with them and been around them, those energies impact and influence your energy field, their energetic programs, mental programs, emotional programs, unhealed traumas, etc. All of those float in and interact with and intermix and start to integrate with your energy fields. So if you don't understand and are truly not educated in energetics, then what do you learn? These little fractured off pieces in our modern metaphysical teachings today. They're just fractured off tiny little, they're fragments of truth. They're fragments of teachings. Deep teachings are not prevalent in our society anywhere. They're just not modern metaphysics. It's lacking so much. So what do people do? Well, I clear the energy in the house and I sage and I clear my own energies and I meditate and I do. That's lovely. That's great. That's what we call temporarily moving energy, quote unquote, temporary healing. You may clear things out and it'll last for a few minutes, a few hours, or maybe even a few days. Then it comes back. Because inside of all of us, in our energy fields, surround our subtle bodies that surround our physical body. Inside of our energy centers, inside of our physical body, and inside of our actual physical body, inside of our cells. We have these programs running. We have the unhealed stuff floating around in there. We have the unhealed traumas floating around in there, big or small. So here's the next tip I'm going to give to you. There is no trauma or emotional pain that is too small. You could have had a moment when you were 2 years old that you would never in your life remember, that caused you such emotional agony. You'll never remember it because it was a quote unquote normal toddler experience that like all toddlers on the planet go through. And yet for you, this one moment in time that was nothing massively traumatic. You weren't beaten. It wasn't some horrible trauma. But guess what? Emotionally, it was traumatic for a 2-year-old. And it could be some simple little thing that happened and it just scared you. You didn't understand. You're only 2 years old. Cognitively, you couldn't comprehend what was happening. So what got created in that moment was a tremendous amount of fear and confusion. That is now a part of you for the rest of your life, unless and until you know how to work on a deep energetic level to go find the old fears and the old things that are trapped inside of you that are unhealed, that then get triggered and cause you to, behave certain way, causes your behavioral programs. That's why we start with when you're triggered. That's what we teach at Masters of Self University in our coaching programs. We start with, well, what triggered you today? There's nothing too small. So many people will say, so many clients will say, it just wasn't a big deal. But that's your little clue. Sometimes that little thing that triggered teeny tiny, but I just brushed it off. That little thing that bothered you for a few minutes is showing you stuff that is trapped in your energy fields. And in some cases, it's simple and fast. You can permanently heal it if you're willing to see what it is. And in other cases, those teeny tiny little things, but this was no big deal. I shouldn't even be upset at something like that. Oh my God, no. Except that on a scale of 1 to 10, it was a 1.5 that you were upset. You know why we don't ignore that? That's a clue. That is a clue. That lets you know there is something deeper in there or you wouldn't have been bothered. That's what this work is. That's what our coaching programs are. We teach you to follow that clue and go deeper, deeper, deeper. Well, what's really underneath there? Why was there a little moment, a tiny little trigger that pulled you out of peace even just a little bit? Because it is a clue that there's something much deeper. I'll give you one quick example. I have a client who just, Nothing really bothers me. I mean, that little bit, like that little tiny bit, but I mean, I shouldn't even be bothered by that. And that's what this person does all the time. And what he has learned is, oh my God, I have so much that has been repressed. And also, I'm a master suppressor of my emotions, my painful emotions. I don't give myself permission to feel anything. I don't value my own emotions, my own pain. So this person has learned through doing the work and the coaching program that, oh my gosh, I realized this teeny tiny little thing that in the past I would brush off, dismiss, overlook, ignore, and be like, I shouldn't be upset over something so stupid. What he realized and made the connection to was, oh my God, Dad used to dismiss me constantly, never valued when I was upset as a little kid, when I cried, when I voiced an opinion that I didn't like something. There was a massive explosion because the dad would flip the fuck out often. And there was also, if he wouldn't flip out and get crazy, he would completely dismiss this child. Didn't matter. Oh, quit crying. You shouldn't even be crying. There's nothing to be upset about. Ah, did you hear that? There's nothing to be upset about. He was completely dismissed. This is dehumanization, by the way. And so what this child learned, I don't matter. My feelings don't matter. And I need to suppress them and put on a smile and act like I'm this enlightened being that nothing bothers me, when really every fucking thing bothers me, but I won't validate it. I won't acknowledge it because I won't validate or acknowledge myself. What I'm really doing here is I'm dismissing myself the way that Dad dismissed me. Dad taught me to dismiss myself. He dismissed me. I now dismiss myself, which is why I have a low emotional IQ. I can't emotionally handle much, but it looks like I'm a master at being able to handle a lot of things because I'm just quiet and mellow when the shit hits the fan. Well, really what I'm doing is suppressing everything. You guys all see it? So I give you that real life examples because I think it'll help you start to connect the dots with yourselves, what's coming up for you. There is no trigger too small. You take them all seriously. That's what I teach. That's what we teach at MSU. Why? Because it's always a clue of something deeper. And if you can heal permanently that something deeper, why the hell wouldn't you? Why the hell wouldn't you just go in and do the deep healing? Okay. So understand something. Let me recap here real quick. The majority of what we've learned to call healing, the majority of methods out there, they are not bad. They're not wrong. There's nothing wrong with them. There's no blaming. There's no don't ever do those types of healing. There's so many healing modalities out there that are just lovely and beautiful and wonderful. And so many of them that will just, you do them, you utilize them, you feel amazing and incredible temporarily. They're awesome. But the majority of what people are using, learning, and say, oh, this will heal you. It is temporary moving of energy. It is not the deepest, darkest work to actually alchemize what is at the core that is creating the suffering in your life. Those modalities just don't do that. Okay? When you learn how simple a lot of the things that we teach at MSU, when you learn how simple some of these energy healing, really working deeply in energetics, the deeper you go into the heavy, dark, scary, painful stuff, and you learn what it means, because we teach you step by step to quote unquote grow your power. We teach you how to step by step energetically connect to your heart chakra, grow and expand that. It is a practice. You have to build this muscle over time. When you learn to do this, along with all the other things that we teach you step by step to energetically do, you grow the abilities to be able to then, in the future, at some point, you get to a level where, oh my gosh, this is in my energy field. I can see that. I can detect it. I know what it is. I now can connect that to what's inside of my body. I can feel it inside of my body. But what I'm experiencing, this triggered me. Oh my gosh, there's tightness in my chest. I can feel it in my heart center. There's a lot of pain here. Great. Now let's find it in your energy field. And let's alchemize both so nothing gets recreated ever again. Okay. Now, in order to learn that and do that, I'm going to say it again like a broken record. It is a process. It takes time. It takes willingness. It takes devotion. That means commitment on your part. Quit trying to look for the quick motherfucking fix. You want permanent healing, you have to be willing to go to school. Why do you think this is called Masters of Self University? You have to be willing to make the commitment in every way. You have to be willing to go to school and learn what you need to learn to permanently heal yourself, and then everything in your future, the challenges that come, because life can be really challenging sometimes, really painful sometimes. In the future, you then have the skills, the power, the education and energetics to know I can now embrace this challenge that I'd really rather not be going through. But I can embrace this challenge right here, right now, with openness, with grace, with unconditional love, with nurturing for myself, and with power. And then what happens? Here's the miracle. That challenging, unpleasant, painful experience is nothing but that. It is just an experience. It doesn't become a trauma. It doesn't become a wound, because you now are powerful enough to alchemize in real time the challenging life experience that your higher soul, the universe, offered to you. You can alchemize it in real time, and it'll never turn into a wound. It will never be a chain reaction of more traumas and suffering for you ever again. You have learned how to heal all of it. And then future challenges that can be really painful, really scary, never again will you have unhealed trauma trapped inside of your body, trapped inside of your energy fields, creating future suffering to look forward to. Never again, because you learn to become so powerful when the scary, painful, unpleasant times come. When that painful time comes, this really hurts my heart. But I know how to love and nurture myself through it with divine power, which means I alchemize it in real time, whether it lasts, this experience lasts a few days, a few weeks of my life, it doesn't matter. I alchemize in real time. And once I'm through this test of initiation, once I'm through this life challenge that is meant to grow and expand me on a divine level, it's meant for my soul to expand because of that human experience I had. When I go through those now, once the experience is over, I feel more elevated, more powerful, lighter, capital L. I have more light within me shining and emanating from me because I use the power of my divinity. I use the tools that I learned in alchemizing and processing. Do you see it? Okay. So give us a thumbs up, give us a like, give us a share. Make sure you subscribe. Thank you for listening. And don't forget, if you're really ready to end all the suffering, I want you to go to mastersofselfuniversity.com, schedule a free consultation with one of our incredible coaches, and start that deep alchemy, permanent healing journey. No more temporary healing. You deserve better than that. No more temporary healing. You deserve better than that. So take advantage of what we really have to offer you. Don't forget, not just one-on-one coaching and not just couples coaching. Our groups are now open, and there's open ongoing enrollment for group coaching. It is the same exact coaching, but in group form. In group form, there are tremendous benefits to doing it in a group. So I would highly encourage you to sign up for those groups. And also, you still get one-on-one coaching inside of the groups, and it's a lot cheaper than our one-on-one couples coaching programs. It is a lot cheaper because it's in a group setting. So take advantage of what we have to offer at Masters of Self University. It is for you. It is for you to learn what permanent healing actually means, as long as you're willing to do the work. This work works. There is no such thing as this work not working. No such thing. There is such thing as people not willing to do the work. You're not willing to do the work. I can't help you. No one can help you if you're not willing to do the work, no matter how incredible these programs are. No one can help you if you're not willing to do the work. But if you are willing to do the work and you are willing to learn, there's no such thing as this work not working. Take advantage of our level of expertise and education that we're here to offer to you. Take advantage of what we're here to offer you. I have so much love for all of you. Please come, allow us to help you end your suffering. All right. I'll see you all in our groups, in our one-on-one coaching sessions at mastersofselfuniversity.com. Peace and love to everybody. Bye for now. See you in the next episode.